Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got game number 3 of this best of 5. It is Zerg vs Terran, and what could potentially be the final game in this series is going to be going down on Whirlwind. So without further ado, let me introduce these two. Up in the top left position, spawning as the blue Zerg player from Team Acer, it is none other than Nerchio. And his opponent in the top right, the red Terran player representing Team Empire, Happy. So, Happy v Nerchio. Game number 1 was very one-sided. Definitely Nerchio's game. Game number 2, Nerchio looked pretty confident in that game as well, but things looked slightly evener in my opinion. And I realise evener is not a word. Slightly more even is what I meant to say if I articulated myself properly. But game number 3, and what could be the final game, obviously being a best of 5, if Nerchio was to win this, it would be a 3-0. Should be pretty exciting, because Happy is going to want to fight his way back, and I've seen more than enough times games that really look like they could all be over very quickly turn back and get into the ace game. So I'm still rooting for Happy. I reckon he can do it. He's a very good player. It looks like he's going to be going for a command center first opening. The reason we know that is, one, it's Whirlwind, so a very good map for a CC first. Also, he's banking up quite a few minerals, and finally, he's not started a barrack yet, so that's usually a good sign. Now, Nerchio, he's going hatch first, but that's not surprising, because as ever, ZVT, 15 hatch, 16 pull is the standard opening, allows you to do pretty much whatever you want to. Good economy, good tech, good defense, really nothing the Terran player can do to punish it, shy of a proxy 2 racks. And on Whirlwind, if you were going to proxy 2 racks, you would be the ballsiest person in the world. You can put the proxy 2 racks, say, in the middle, but usually that's a bit of a risky move because you've got to scout find where they are. Obviously, being a 4-player spawn position, you never know where they're going to be for quite a while, and that can delay the push, etc, etc, etc. Generally, not ideal. So, as expected, Happy grabbing down that CC first, getting the barracks up following it, and the gas. So a very similar build, if not identical build currently to that of game number 2, which did go better for Happy, so I can see why he's going for that sort of opening rather than the Reaper that he did in the first game. And yeah, Nerchio, he doesn't really have to worry about any kind of pressure poking in. Is going to scout his opponent's second, unfortunately, because he's basically sent the first overlord to the south rather than to the east, so isn't going to find him too quickly. But luckily here for Happy, he is going to get the first scout out. This is very important for him because it just means that he doesn't have to wander into the world of the maybes for quite as long. Is going to be spotted though, as of course the drone is there as ever for Nerchio, because Nerchio being very thorough, just making sure that a bunker cannot possibly get thrown down and just playing things on the safe side, which I do like. Now back over at Happy's base, bunker coming up for himself just defensively, getting it before he floats down this command center, which I think is always a safe move, just in case some Zerglings were coming out. And on Whirlwind, it's not uncommon to see a couple of Zerglings, of course, start out life making that sort of aggressive Zerg play early on this map. Very popular in many, many games. So it's just a smart play getting the bunker out there, just to be safe rather than sorry. Factory following it up, all very good. The Overlord that was making its way in, it's going to take a couple of shots, should be able to get away. Nerchio just taking it out as fast as possible out of the range of that Marine. But what is he really going to be able to do if it does go down? Well, it'd be very painful, but he should be safe now. And the poor little Marine just can't quite shoot quickly enough, and this is where every Marine wishes he could just keep shooting into the sky, hoping he may not be accurate with every shot, but maybe he could take it down and burst this Overlord. But for Nerchio's sake, he's very lucky to be able to get that out of there, and just good reactions once start getting attacked, and he scouted his opponent to be able to save it. Double gas is being taken from Nerchio. Very normal timing of those. Getting a double gas up, maybe a bit quick. That's why he's only put 2 drones in one of them. The third one will probably get pulled over once he's completely saturated this mineral line. But yeah, most players will just get the single gas. The spine crawler also coming down. Nerchio, you can see that he's very confident in this playstyle and this build because it's identical to what he did in every game. Getting this spine is really a very critical part, and what it allows Nerchio to do is, 1, secure up this third a little bit quicker because he's slightly more safe at his natural, but 2, it allows him to drone a little bit heavier. This is quite a big variation actually, getting this third extracted down so soon. Not something that you often see, because this is now going to potentially equate to a very aggressive mid-game out of Nerchio, because he's going to be able to get things like roaches out, banelings out, etc. very quickly. Can also tech up exceptionally fast. Upgrades can also make their way through. We can see the Nerchio already banking up 270 odd gas, so by the time those 2 evolution chambers are done, he's going to be in a good spot. Variations coming through from Happy as well. He's meching it up, going for blue flame at least early on. It could just be a blue flame Hellion play, but usually that's a big commitment if you're just getting blue flame Hellions out and then going into, say, Biomine. It's probably going to result in mech all the way through, and who could blame Happy for trying to go mech against Nerchio, because he's gone Biomine in games 1 and 2 and it didn't work too well. We've got the Starport also coming down, no armory yet, which means no Hellbats. Of course, they benefit from the blue flame upgrade as ever. And yeah, I'd say these blue flame Hellions, there are quite a few of them. They can potentially get a good amount of damage done, but they're going to get spotted by the Overlords. But still, blue flame hasn't yet been revealed. They're still quite a long way down, and with this complete wall off, they're going to struggle to make their way through. This is going to be very frustrating for Happy. He's got his armory about half done. Scan, of course, revealing these creep tumors. He's going to start picking them off the queens, easing their way forward, but that's going to mean that the Hellions can just try and sneak their way past, are going to be able to get through. One Hellion goes down, but the rest of them managing to make their way through. The Queen trying to do a little bit of blocking here, helping this Spine Crawler to block them all through, and yeah, apparently someone there was lagging anyway, and well, Happy, not too happy about that, and who can blame him? He's just moved in, so that's going to be very frustrating. 7 workers were killed there by the Hellions, or at least in this game so far, but probably not enough to justify the cost of getting blue flame down, and blue flame I don't even think was finished by the time those Hellions went in. So yeah, we do now see that there's the hatchery down. Droning still going to be occurring here for Nerchio, but things quite close in terms of the drone count. So these speedlings making their way forward, probably going to try and do some damage, but unlike the first 2 games, we can see that actually Happy is not trying to get up that quick 3rd CC. He's happy just to get the siege tank down, really be aggressive with these Hellions. The wall off not complete anymore, so that means the Spine Crawler come down just to try and aid as a bit more of a defense of this 3rd as well, but the 3rd very vulnerable. Only 1 queen there. And the Hellions can come poking through, and of course the 3rd has been scouted. It was coming down, so Happy knows to potentially come and try and target this. Speedlings are in position, but blue flame Hellions going to trade very nicely against the Speedlings, and also potentially taking out quite a few drones. The Queen moving forward, and here comes Happy once again. He's trying to get rid of these Zerglings as fast as possible, doing an okay job. One of the Hellions will go down, the rest of the Zerglings also going to get taken out. A couple more drones getting killed here. Is Happy going to be able to level this out? Well, it looks like yes, he will, and he's doing a nice little bit of damage here. Nerchio taking a lot of losses, but he does have Mutalisks on their way. Back at home, the first Thor getting started, and that's essential because Mutalisks are on their way through. Where even is that Spire? It's down the back of the the main base rather, but it hasn't been scouted. So this Thor, double Thor production now, is where Nerchio was always planning on going. He's got missile turrets down, and who can blame him, because that is what Nerchio has been going for in every game, are these Mutalisks. So just responding to that the best way he knows how. Nerchio also getting Ventral Sacks as well as Overlord speed, so we should be seeing some drop tech coming down, and that's always cool to see. In total, 14 drones have been roasted this game by Hellions, so a decent amount of damage. In terms of resources lost, it puts them pretty similar, but of course no workers have been killed yet. Hellbat drops though, they're coming down, and any Zerg player will tell you this is never too fun. Nerchio not pulling the drones yet though, instead just going to come and try and clean this up with a Mutalisk. Will kill the medevac. The next medevac full of Hellbats coming over the top. There is an Overlord in position trying to spot it. Mutalisks and Zerglings trying to chase this medevac down, and Mutalisk not going to be able to see it, getting just out of sight. That means a counterattack is going to go through, but the medevac going to try and sneak past this Overlord. Will get seen perfectly though. The natural base is exposed. There's nothing here to defend. The Hellbats coming in, going to start roasting a couple more drones, and this is where Nerchio now is losing an awful lot of stuff. Coming back to try and defend this, a couple more drones are starting to go out, and well, a quick little pickup. The Hellbats need to work out where they're going to go to. A quick drop will try and take out some more as they come through, but now with the Mutalisks on their way back, they should all get cleaned out. But at what cost is the real question. 33 workers being killed now. Nerchio, even after losing the 33 drones though, is still ahead. 72 workers to 53. Now 80 to 53 drones. That is pretty insane. He's getting some good upgrades. Roaches are nearly there. The Ventral Sacks upgrade is just about to complete. It's about 8 seconds off, and that is where some roach drops can start going down. But there are many tanks now, so the roaches don't even need to worry about dropping. There's just quite a few Thors. 2 more about to pop out, which means the Mutalisks aren't going to be too effective, but the roaches will be exceptionally effective. +1 missile attack is also coming down. Of course, the 4th nearly there. The Mutalisks need to try and find an angle of attack they could get into, because there are some places that could potentially be exploited should the Mutalisks want to come in. This refinery, for example, could get taken out, but it looks like Happy is more than prepared now to move out, moving out quite a lot earlier than you generally see a meching Terran advance. He's only at about the 144 supply mark rather than about the 170, which you tend to see when Terrans get confident, but he's pulling ACVs with this. He is going for it. Nerchio, all he's got to do now is hold, and he should be in a fantastic position because his work count is massively high. He's got that 4th up, as I mentioned, and now in come the Roaches. They're hugging up. They're going to start trying to take out these Thors. The Mutalisks going to be aiding everything too, and this means the Thors have to try and prioritize fire to whatever they feel is necessary, but the Mutalisks not taking much damage in the slightest, just slowly picking away at pretty much anything here, and Nerchio crushing this army very effectively. The Thors, the siege tanks all going down. Hellbat drops are simultaneously happening in the natural and the 3rd, killing off a couple more workers, doing actually a very good job of it. But Nerchio, he's cleaning up the 3rd, but the natural base is taking even more damage. 53 workers have now been killed this game, and Nerchio been knocked back down to 57 drones, but Happy supply at 109 now, compared to 147 of the Zerg. That is not a good spot for him to be in. Really looking good at the moment for Nerchio, because he can drone back up very quickly. He's got the infestation bit and +2 melee attack now done, so he is at 2-1 in terms of melee attack and armor, and +1 missile attack, and he's going with the counter aggression. There's a couple of Thors here now though, only 1 unit in that bunker, but it's still going to be enough with the tanks at the back for Nerchio to try and pull back. Remember, he does have drop tech completed, but no overlords are with this army. They're all sitting back here, but a doom drop into the main base could be devastatingly effective. We've got some more Zerglings coming through, 46 of them in total. And this is going to be very nice for Nerchio, as long as he gets a good engagement against Happy. What he can't do is just throw units into this siege line forever, because there's a couple of siege tanks there, and it may not seem like many, but there's enough that Roaches aren't going to fare particularly effectively. So he's just going to be positioning himself, trying to find an angle of attack, and certainly needs to look at using these overlords and this drop tech just to drop on top. Because if he drops on top of these tanks with the Roaches, he shouldn't have anything to worry about. And the Thors, well, they're going to be able to deal with the Mutas, but it's the drops that are still being quite effective. A Spine Crawler trying to come down. The double Spore Crawler was able to take out the medevac, but more and more drones are now getting taken out, and Happy actually starting to take an economic lead up against Nerchio at the moment. Now 52 to 50 workers, but of course a lot of mules, and wow, Banelings are remorphing. Bane Rain against Mech could be very interesting to see how that's going to work. We've got the Hive on its way down as well now. We've got the +2 missile attack upgrades on their way. So upgrades advantage is definitely sitting there for Nerchio, because 2-0 is done for Happy, but no mech armor upgrades yet. Zerglings, Mutalisks, Banelings all starting to wander their way up towards this 3rd. The Banelings just kind of waddling about as they do. Drop tech not being used. The sensor tower really critically important in Happy's defense, and that's because it's going to give him an early warning, so we can reposition this very slow, very immobile mech force to try and get in the best position possible in order to defend against the various pushes that could be coming from the Acer opponent. A drop coming down at the 4th, the Hellbat's dealing a nice little bit of damage there. 73 workers have been killed this game by Happy, so he's done an amazing job of that, but Nerchio appears to have now had enough. He's moving forward with a good number of overlords. This is always a dangerous spot. He's losing so many drones back at home. He's got a couple of Roaches though, trying to finish all of this off. We'll pick up the Hellbat just to save it, but now in comes this drop. The Thors not sure what to do. The Banelings starting to get dropped down, and this is where massive and catastrophic damage can start to be achieved. The Roaches coming in from behind it, and yeah, the Roaches plowing their way through. Happy is taking a lot of damage. Nerchio is just 102 army supply to the 40 of Happy, and now all the tanks going down. This is looking very good for Nerchio, and he should be able to just push through for the win here. There's no tanks remaining. 27 army supply to 102. These Roaches are about to have got +3 missile attack, and they are now going straight for the main, straight for the production. The tanks are in a good position, but it is not going to be enough. GG is called, and Happy will unfortunately be defeated by Nerchio 3-0. So congratulations to Nerchio. He played an amazing series, and Happy gave him a better run every game. But just the sheer fact that in that game there was 86 drones killed by Happy is incredible that Nerchio is still be able to win. So if you enjoyed that game, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new cast. Thanks for watching. I'm Madals, and bye for now.